Good afternoon, everybody. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk, and this is the first stretch break of the week. Final Monday stretch break before the weeks of rest. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do, go ahead and drop anything that you feel needs a little bit of extra love or extra attention today in the chat. We can definitely work it into the stretch routine. I do have kind of a full body thing planned out, but please go ahead and drop something specific if you feel that it's tight. We might already be doing it, or we can definitely work it into the routine. So I'll give you guys a second to do so there. Hip flexors, always. We need that hip flexor stretch like we need air. Hip flexors. Perfect, okay. All right, sweet, welcome Jody. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the world's greatest stretch and or the dynamic runner stretch. Jody, since you just joined us, feel free to go ahead and drop anything in the chat if you feel like it needs a little bit of an extra stretch today, something specific. We can definitely work it in to our routine. But we're going to start with the world's greatest stretch. So that means starting at the top of our space to the top of our mat. Take a nice deep breath. What we're going to start with, bring that right knee up to your chest. Hug that right knee up to your chest. Get nice and tall here. Take a couple ankle circles in each direction. Warm up that lower leg. And then with control, let's step back with that right leg into a nice long reverse lunge here. What we're going to do is come down to the ground. Place those hands on the inside of that left foot. Now keeping that back leg straight, let's twist and reach up towards the ceiling here. Pushing away from the ground with that opposite arm. Look past that hand, that left hand up in the air. Take a couple breaths. Letting everything wash away. Let's go ahead and return that left hand to the ground. It's going to come down outside of that left foot. So from here, what we can do, straighten out that front leg and push up into a nice hamstring stretch for that front leg. Keep that breathing going. And as a bonus, to get a little extra stretch, try and bring that head to the knee. Okay, if you can't. One more deep breath. Let's step forward with that right foot, bringing it next to the left, and then slowly roll ourselves up, one vertebra at a time. Head and neck coming up last. Feel free to give yourself a little shoulder roll at the top there too. Okay, let's get into it with the other side. So plant that right foot. We're gonna hug that left knee up close to the body into the chest. Couple ankle circles in each direction here with the left side. Might notice one ankle's a little tighter than the other. All right, now here with some control, let's step back into a nice long reverse lunge. Let those hands come down to the ground inside that right foot. And from here, twist, reach up towards the ceiling with that right hand. Keep going with the breathing. Try and keep that back leg nice and straight. Should feel some tension there. Good work, you guys. Let's bring that right hand back to the ground. Let it land outside of that right foot. And what we're going to do now is push up into a hamstring stretch for the front leg. So straighten out that front leg as much as you can. Then try and reach your head towards your knee. Continue to breathe. And then let's step forward with that left foot. And then slowly roll ourselves all the way up. Head, neck, and shoulders are the last thing to come up. Then we give ourselves a nice little shoulder roll. Great job, you guys, great job. Okay, next up, what we're gonna do, let's come down onto the ground in our space, hands and knees here. What we're gonna try and get in is some good rotation for the middle of our spine. So this is the active version of threading the needle. What I'm gonna start with, right hand. So left arm is gonna stay planted here. Right hand's gonna reach through, I'm gonna twist, reach through this gap between my left arm and my left leg, looking at my hand the whole way. What we're gonna do is recoil, open all the way up towards the ceiling on the opposite side, letting our bodies twist as much as we comfortably can, and then slowly repeating that. So coming down, pushing the hand through the gap here. I'm looking at my hand the whole time, letting my head twist, As I open up towards the ceiling, just as far as you can comfortably go. Let's do a couple more here. Don't forget that breathing as well. And we want to make sure that left arm, whatever arm you have planted on the ground, is pushing away from the ground. So we don't want to feel that opposite shoulder sinking really. Last rep here on this side, make sure you get a nice twist in towards that planted arm. And we open up away from that planted arm. Great work, you guys, great work. Okay, opposite now. So plant that first arm that we were moving. We're going to reach through the gap, letting ourselves twist, keeping our eye on that moving hand. And now I'm opening up towards you guys and then towards the ceiling. Good job, you guys. 3 more here. We're going for a total of 4. You can kind of move at your own pace. You don't have to move fast. Don't have to move slow. Good work, you guys. Focus on how much you can rotate in the neck, in through the middle of the spine, middle of the back there. Wherever you're at, let's make this the last rep here. Big open twist, push away from the ground. Nicely done, guys, nicely done. Okay, since we're on the ground, let's come down into that nice shin box position I know everyone loves. Angle my camera down here just a little bit, just so you guys can see my legs. So one leg out front, knee and ankle on the ground, other leg out to the side, knee and ankle on the ground, both knees at 90 degrees. So what we're gonna try and do for this one, if you guys go ahead and lean back on your hands, what we're gonna try and do is that hip flip switch. So switching our legs all the way over to the opposite side, so the opposite knee and ankles are on the ground. So I'm gonna angle myself so you guys can see me a little bit better. So if this isn't a position you feel super comfortable with yet, go ahead and lean back on the hands to do this. We're just gonna rotate as much as we comfortably can, trying to get those knees and ankles to lay flat on the ground on each side. Now, if you're a little more advanced, you can join me. We'll move around a little bit. Let's stick those arms out to the side. Keep the core nice and tight. All right, and let's try and switch now. Make sure you're breathing as you do this. We're gonna do a few on each or towards each side. Good job, guys, good job. All right, one more each side here. Big flip, keep the core tight, arms out with some tension. Last one, other side here. Lay it all the way down, relax those arms. Nicely done, you guys. We got time for one more. Let's go ahead and find a nice half kneeling position here on the ground, one knee down, one leg out in front. And what we're gonna do is find that nice hip flexor stretch. It's what we're all needing as we sit a lot more than we probably used to. Okay, so with one knee down on the ground, we're gonna go through that checklist, tucking the tailbone, squeezing the glute of that back leg of that knee that's on the ground, finding those abs, so pulling our pelvis up a little bit, using those abs, pushing the hips forward slightly if you need to. If you already have good tension, don't need to push the hips forward too much. Keep that glute squeeze going. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and raise that same side arm up, and this will exaggerate your stretch a little bit. We're focusing on finding that medium intensity stretch right here in front of the hips, and then continuing our deep belly breathing. So let that belly expand. Nicely done, you guys. Let's go ahead and take the tension out of that first hip. Let's switch it over to the other side. So opposite knee on the ground here now. Opposite leg out in front, same checklist. So tucking the tailbone, squeezing the glute of that knee that's on the ground, finding those abs, pushing the hips forward just a little bit, trying to find a medium amount of tension here. And then once we do, we can continue that deep belly breathing. If you'd like to raise that arm up to exaggerate the stretch a little bit more, feel free to do so. One more good breath here, guys. Great work. All right, let's slowly come out of that tension. Feel free to come into kneeling, sitting, or standing. That's all the time I have left for this stretch break today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We do have a full packed schedule of group exercise classes and stretch breaks this week. Go to our SharePoint site. That's where you'll find the full and complete schedule. You'll also find all the news and all our services and all the information about Exos that you could possibly find. Feel free to also find us on Slack, #Exos. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Hope to see you guys tomorrow in the stretch breaks and the classes, and Wednesday and Thursday in the stretch breaks and the classes. So take care, everyone. See you guys next time.
Thank you, Luis.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys. See you, Jody. See you, Dan.